Good afternoon for all the participants. I would like to inform you that the class will start soon, approximately about 15 minutes again. So please do tell your friends or relative that also joining this class to join this class as soon as possible because the class is about to start soon. Thank you very much.
Seneng. Oh, sorry.
Once more, I would like to remind you all the participants because the class is about to start soon. So please do chat your friends or relative that also joining this class because the class is about to begin about 5 minutes again. So please do tell your friend or relative to join this class as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Good afternoon for all the participants. I would like to inform you once more that the class is about to begin. So please do turn your camera on if you can, so we can know each other, so we can have more relative in the future. So please do you on your cam, so we can know each other in the future. Good afternoon, Miss Army Justicia.
Good afternoon, Christian. How are you?
Great. I would like to inform you that I will become the master ceremony for this class today. Thank you very much.
Christian?
Yes, ma'am.
Do Dr. Hazim know his schedule?
I have an information from Mr. Hendra. He's told me that Professor Dr. Hazim has already known about this class.
Okay, okay.
I'm still checking the schedule again, so I'm still chat Mr. Hendra about Dr. Hazim.
Okay, I will turn off my camera first, yes? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Dr. Hazim.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm sorry for the little inconvenience because there is a wrong link I see.
It's okay, no problem.
Okay,
Things
so
happen.
okay. So I assume that all the participants are already here, so we will begin our class. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon for all the participants. Welcome to DECOTA 2020. DECOTA stand for Video Conferencing with Universitas Airlangga. I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Christian Dimas Regana, but everybody called me as Dimas. I will become your Master of Ceremony in this class today. Before we start this class today, let's pray to the God first. Praying start. Praying finish. Thank you very much. I would like to greet for the Honorable Mr. Professor Dr. Mohammed Hazim Alkawaz from Faculty of Information Science and Engineering, Management and Science University, Shah Alam, Malaysia, as our special speaker for the day. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
And also, I would like to greet to Miss Army Justicia Escom MCom as our special moderator for today. Good afternoon, Miss Army.
Good afternoon, Christian.
Okay, before we start the class, I would like to inform you about the rundown of this class first. This class will be continued by our special speaker and moderator that I've been introduced before. The topic for this class is network security and information hiding technique use. After the topics, there will be a Q&A session for all the participants. It open for all the participants to ask a question to our speaker about the topic. After that, there will be a photo shoot together with the speaker. So please do prepare your best smile and please do prepare your cam so you can on the camera when the time for the photo shoot together come. At the end of the class, there will be a presence and feedback form. I would like to remind for all the participants, please do fill the present and feedback form so you can get the RE certificate that will be sent through your email automatically. So please do remember to fill the presence and feedback form. Okay, that's all for the rundown of this class. I would like to give the class the next session to Miss Army Justicia Escom MCom as our special moderator. Miss Army, the time is yours. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Hello, Dr. Hazim. How are you?
How are you?
Okay, today we meet again in Zoom class, and this is the second guest lecture with you, with the same student from the last class, and I'm your moderator today. For this afternoon, you will talk about knowledge-based system, as I know. Is it all right? Correct?
Because I have covered what we call both of the topic, the first session. So I discussed with Dr. Henry, and we have what we call it, decide to give a new topic to our students so they can get more knowledge and information about the data security and the network security as well.
Oh, okay. Okay. For this lecture, today, Dr. Hazim will talk about network security and data security. Okay, Dr. Hazim, you have 1 hour and 30 minutes to explain the subject. And then for you, all of students, if you have something to ask to Dr. Hazim, you can leave your question in the chat box, or if you want to directly ask to Dr. Hazim, you can raise your hand by clicking the button in the Zoom application of Zoom. Or Dr. Hazim, you could ask some question to our student in the middle of your presentation to check their understanding or just to get their attention back. Okay, since you are ready, I would like to hand over the microphone to you, and time is yours, Dr. Hazim.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Puan Army and Mr. Christian for the introduction that has been given about me. So welcome back again for the second session of our guest lecture. I hope you still remember me, right? Do I need to introduce myself again? Is Fikri here? I still remember Fikri, Amir, Alvin from last session. Let me check who's here from last session. Muhammad Dari, I think you also from the last session, right? I still remember you. Okay, as we have started late, so let me go direct to the slide. Admin, please allow me to share the slide.
Yes, of course,
Okay,
Dr. Hazim.
thank you. Okay, first of all, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon once again. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Prof. Dr. Mohammed Hazim. Okay, I am the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Information Sciences and Engineering for the Student Affairs, Management and Science University. So for today's session, we will cover the topic about network security and information hiding techniques. Are you ready?
Yes, we
Yes,
are,
sir.
sir.
Okay, good. So just to let you know that I might be what we call it, stop the lecture at any time, and I would like to ask question. So because when it's come to the way that on how I give the lecture, I want it to be interaction between the student and also the lecturer. Yeah. So please, I want also, if you, is it possible, I want you to have one piece of paper like this one and also pen, because I'm going to asking you to do few things throughout today's session. Okay? Don't worry, it will not be what we call it too long, but it will be very nice. Okay, so first of all, let me let me give you a brief about the information hiding techniques. So it's divided into three categories, which is the first one, cryptography. Second is steganography. And the third one is the watermarking. Actually, when it's come to the cryptography, it's related to the encryption and to decrypt the message. When it's come to the steganography, it's related to hiding the information inside another another file or even audio or video itself. When it's come to the watermarking, it's going to embed the picture inside another picture or inside another audio. I will talk about it, each one of it in details, and we will start right now with the cryptography. So when it's come to the cryptography, actually it's the study of secret, crypto and writing. The main idea of the cryptography is to hide the information and to hide the data from all parties except the sender and also the receiver. That's why cryptography is very important when it's come to the confidentiality. And it also help to verify the correctness of the message. When it has come to this section, as I said last lecture, it's related to the authentication. Where is it the sender? Is it correct that's the correct sender, or it's claim the sender is someone else? So let me show you one of the video here to be the introduction of the cryptography technique. I have to stop like last time and I have to share again. Okay. So when it's come to this one, okay. Can you see? Christian?
Yes, we can, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay. Please stop me if the sound or the voice is not really clear. Yeah?
Okay, sir. I will.
Okay. Please focus on the video. I have few questions. It's related to the content.
When you hear the word cryptography, your brain probably jumps to someone sitting in a dark room staring at lines of code. You might also think of highly trained software engineers protecting endless
I'm sorry, sir. The sound of the video is missing.
methodology to modern coding.
Hello?
Let's try
It's
to
already come. No problem, no problem.
Is it okay or not?
The sound is sometimes missing.
It's because of the internet connection. It's okay. You try now.
but it's also a
Okay,
root
it's right.
methodology of modern coding. Let's try to understand some basic principles of cryptology to gain a greater understanding of this old but new technological workflow. There are three key principles of cryptography: encryption, authentication, and integrity. Encryption is the process of converting data into an unreadable form in order to protect its privacy during data transfer, reception, and storage. Encrypted data has to be decrypted, a process called decryption. Encryption and decryption require a key to be used in the process so that while the data may seem scrambled, it can still be read and understood by the desired recipients. Authentication is the process of ensuring that the sender claimed in a string of data is, in fact, the actual sender. This works by the sending computer or device performing some action that the receiver knows only the correct sender can do. When the receiver sees that action, it authenticates the message. The actual process is much more complex, but this explanation summarizes the workflow. Finally, integrity. Proper cryptography also ensures message integrity, which means that the messages are communicated accurately and not intercepted or altered on the communication path. Usually, this is done by hashing the data, which cryptographically maps out its path. Taking these principles into actuality requires a wealth of technical skill using one of three main techniques: secret key cryptography, public key cryptography, and hash functions. Secret key cryptography uses one key across both the sending encryption and receiver's decryption. It's the simplest way of encrypting data, but it's relatively low on security overall, and distributing the single key can often be easier said than done. Public key cryptography allows for the use of two keys, which are different for the sender and receiver. Both the sending party and the receiving party has a private and public key. The private key should be kept secret to the individual device, while the public key is known to any party looking to communicate with another. For instance, if one computer wanted to send another some data, it would use the receiver's public key to encrypt the data, and the receiver would use its secret private key to decrypt it. Finally, we're left with hash functions. The final basic technique of cryptology involves no keys at all. Rather, it uses a set length hash value that is presented as plain text. Hash functions are used to check the integrity of the transferred data. You can think of this technique as computers running data through an equation, and if it spits out the right answer, the computers can verify the message's accuracy. Drawing back to the question at hand, what is cryptography? The answer is fairly simple. It's the science of taking data and securing it during transfer or storage. It's an essential aspect of modern data security, utilizing the principles we've discussed here, and it continues to push the definition of just what digital security means.
Okay. Have you watched the video?
Yes, we do, sir.
Hello, I want to see all your face. Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Cybersecurity TV. Today we're gonna discuss.
Okay. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, let me ask. Christian, you are also a student who are taking a bachelor in computer science, isn't it?
Yes, I am, but I'm still more fresh than the student that already take the subject. So I don't take the subject now. Yeah.
But you are with us right now in the session. So let me asking you one question related to the video that you have seen just now. What is all the video all about actually?
It's about data encryption and authentication, maybe.
Okay. Lagi Why I cannot see the names? Let me stop the screen and see the names. Okay, Muhammad Dari. Dari, can you hear me? Unmute yourself.
Yes.
Okay. In the
Yes, I
video,
can hear you.
what you call it? How many terms that that have been mentioned about cryptography?
I believe there are 3 terms.
Okay.
There are 3 terms.
Okay. The first one.
The first one, I believe it's encryption.
It's
The
the
second
private
one is
key.
authentication, and the third one is integrity. Oh, okay. Oh, that okay.
The type of the
I'm
cryptography.
sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay. Can you tell me how many type of cryptography that we have based on the video that you have seen?
We have 3: a secret key, public key, and hash function.
Hash function. Leave aside the hash function.
Secret key and public key.
Private key and public key. Okay, correct. Thank you. Let me continue the slide. Okay. Now we will focus today in what we call it in today's session on 2 types of the cryptography, which is techniques, which is the first one we call it symmetric key cryptography, and the second one we call it asymmetric key cryptography. When it is come to the symmetric key cryptography, it has many names. It can be called also as a private key cryptography, and also it can be called as a single key cryptography, where the sender and the receiver will be used the same key to encrypt and also to decrypt the message. And to another hand, asymmetric key cryptography, or we call it into another name, public key cryptography, where both of the sender and the receiver, they will have 2 types of key. The first one we call it private key, and the second one we call it public key. Right now we will focus on the first type. In our case, we call it symmetric cryptography. Okay, so if you look what we call it into this type of cryptography, as I said, it is also being called as a private key, and the principle or the mechanism of this cryptography, it's encrypt the message and decrypt the message using only 1 key. I giving you example. If me and the Christian, if I want to send a message to Christian using the symmetric cryptography, I need to encrypt the data itself using a key, of course, using a cipher algorithms, but I need to have a key. When I am going to encrypt the message, I will encrypt the message and I will send it to Christian. What Christian need to do? Christian need to decrypt the message, but Christian need to use the same key that I use to encrypt the message. Let's see that in the picture. Okay, let's say that this is A, or this is me, and this is Christian, sender and the receiver. But first of all, let me asking you, why do we need to encrypt the message? Are you with me? Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why do you think we need to encrypt the message? Rifki.
Thank you for your time. In my opinion, we need to encrypt the message to protect our privacy. Probably.
Correct. In order for us to secure the data throughout the transaction, throughout the network or the internet connected network, we need to encrypt the data. So when I want to encrypt the data, I have to use method or algorithms. So in this case, or in this type of cryptography, we use the symmetric cryptography. So when we are going to encrypt the data, we have to use, of course, as I said, encryption algorithms. But in that encryption algorithms, we need to use key. In this type of cryptography, we use the private key. If you can see here, let me, okay, draw this one. Okay, this is the key itself. Okay, this key, when the sender wants to send the message or the data to the receiver, he or she need to encrypt the data. When she need to encrypt the data, she need to use a key. So this is here is the encrypted data. So this data, if anyone can get this data, it's okay, it doesn't matter, because the person or the third party, if he or she will get this data, cannot read the content. Why? Because the data has been encrypted. In order for the receiver to read the information or to read the content of our message, he or she need to decrypt the data. So how to decrypt the data? He or she need to use the same key that been used before by the sender. So you get the idea now or not? When it is come to the private key principle of encrypt and decrypt. Amir? Amir is not there. Hello. I think my Zoom stuck. Christian, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
I want to delete this one. Christian, can you please stop me from sharing the screen? Because the Zoom is stop me from sharing. Okay.
Okay, already.
Okay, so can you see now, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is the whole principle of encryption and decryption for the symmetric cryptography. Is there any question when it's come to the security, when it's come to the symmetric cryptography before I'm going to show you the video?
It's clear, sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay, it's clear. Fikri is here.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Henry also joined. Hi, Dr. Henry, how are you? Fikri, is it clear?
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Let me asking you question to know is the information being delivered to you or not. Right now, if I want, what we call it, to read the message, to read the encrypted message, what should I do? Right now, I have an encrypted message.
We should
What
decrypt
should I
it
do
first.
to read the content of that message?
We should decrypt it first, I think.
I have to decrypt it first. If I want to decrypt it first, and that message has been encrypted using the symmetric cryptography, what do I need to have?
The same key as
Private
the
key, I think.
Yep.
Correct. I should have the same key that been used to encrypt that message. Okay, let me show you some of the what we call it application that being used the symmetric cryptography. Then later we will continue. Where is it? Good job. Let me share in a while. And I want you to focus on the video because it might be there's something that I will asking you related to the content of the video. Yeah. Okay. Christian, if the sound is not clear, please alert me. Yeah.
Okay, I will, sir.
Okay.
Okay, symmetric encryption. What do we know about it? We know that it means we use the same cryptographic key to encrypt the data that we use to decrypt the data. But what does this really mean? We're going to find out how symmetric encryption is used in real life. In my real-world experience, we use symmetric encryption when creating Ipsec VPNs. We usually create VPNs between two firewalls, as shown here. The goal of a VPN is for private IPs to communicate over the public internet. Obviously, private addresses can't be routed over the internet, so we use a VPN, a virtual private network. For this example, we want the host behind company A, 192.168.1.16, to be able to communicate to the host behind company B, 10.1.1.56. In order to do this, we must build a VPN. We're going to build a VPN between the two firewalls of company A and company B. VPNs are usually built between firewalls. Company A has a checkpoint firewall, and company B has a Cisco ASA. Both have different ways of configuring VPNs, but essentially the concept of building VPNs is the same across all firewalls. Let's start with company A, the checkpoint. This is the place where you configure checkpoint firewalls. It is known as the dashboard. Don't worry if everything seems overwhelming if you haven't seen something like this before. We're just going to focus on the SISP concept of symmetric encryption. You can see the firewall is like a typical firewall. You have your policy, security policy, which shows you all the sources allowed going to all the destinations over a specific port. HTTP, which is our port 80, HTTPS, which is our port 443. So this is real security, the network security domain of the SISP in real life. This is it right here. This is what helped me study for the SISP and pass it on the first try, this real life experience. This is why the ISC2 encourages that you have real world security experience, because it just makes the exam that much easier if you've touched it and seen it in real life and have the concepts down. Now, in order to build a VPN tunnel, we have to configure what we call the peer firewall first. In our case, the peer firewall is our Cisco ASA with its public IP address of 2.2.2.2. So we first create what's called an interoperable device, which is Checkpoint's way of saying peer device. We then give it a name, company B. Then we give it company B's public IP address, which was 2.2.2.2. Then we have to choose how we want to encrypt this VPN tunnel since it is going over the public internet. This is to protect our confidentiality. Okay, so let's do that now. We're going to go right here, and we're going to create an interoperable device. Okay, so let's create our peer side for our VPN tunnel. We're going to call it company B. We're going to give it an IP address of company B's public IP address. Okay. Now we're going to create the actual algorithms used to encrypt the VPN. So we go to IPsec VPN, go to traditional mode configuration, and now you start to see some things you might recognize. Triple DES, AES 128, AES 256, DES. What are these from our studies? These are our symmetric encryption algorithms, right? And MD5, SHA-1, SHA-256, AES XCBC, CBC, cipher block chaining. All these sounds familiar from your studies, right? These are our hashing integrities, hashing algorithms. So we use integrity and we use encryption to create this VPN tunnel. This is exactly why I said earlier that real life experience is so important, because here you are, you're actually touching it, you're actually doing it, you're actually creating a VPN tunnel using encryption and hashing, exactly what you're studying about. It just makes the SISP exam so much easier when you have real life technical experience. So our symmetric key, the same key that we use to decrypt and encrypt, is called a pre-shared secret for our tunnel. So this is where we're going to input our symmetric key. So you click on pre-shared secret. You do edit secrets, do edit, and you our secret passphrase symmetric key. Now it has to be very complicated so nobody can crack it and we're not vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attacks. So let's think of a really complicated symmetric key. This is how I usually do it. I just usually smash down on the keyboard and create a whole bunch of random characters like this. That's a long key, right? It's got characters, it's got capital letters, it's got lowercase letters. It's just a very complicated password. So this is the kind of password we should all be using when we're using a symmetric key encryption. This is also to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks. Suppose we send all our information, this secret key, over the internet, and there's someone eavesdropping able to see our traffic. They can set up their own machine with the IP address of 2.2.2.2, and they can do a dictionary attack or any kind of attack to figure out the password. And if our password was, cat, that would be very easy to crack. Since it's a complicated password, it takes a lot more time to crack. So the stronger the password, the better. Now, I'm going to have to remember this key because we're going to use the same key to put in when we configure the Cisco ASA firewall and configure the checkpoint side. It'll all make sense later. So for now, this is our key. This is our symmetric key right here, the same key to encrypt and decrypt data. So we're going to press OK, and OK, and OK. What are we looking at here? We're looking at the command line for the Cisco ASA firewall at company B. All my network security engineers out there will recognize this as the CLI. I love using the CLI. I'm a command line kind of guy. I don't like using the GUI. It's slow, and it's actually as intimidating as the CLI seems. The GUI is even more complicated, in my opinion. It's just faster to use the command line, and it's more precise. So on the command line, on this on this Cisco ASA firewall, we're going to create our other peer side, which now would be company A's checkpoint firewall. So it's a little different on the Cisco ASA, but as I said, just remember, VPN, symmetric encryption is all the same concept no matter what firewall you're using. It's the same principles. That's why it's so important to get the concepts down before you actually go on to touch a device, because once you know the concepts, you're untouchable. You can do anything. If you jump into the command line, if you're looking at this right now and you have no idea about concepts or the command line, you don't even know where to begin. You don't even know where to begin at all. So let's configure our other side, checkpoint side VPN tunnel. So on an ASA, we're going to go into configure mode because we're about to configure something. And we're going to create a tunnel group. Tunnel group is what the checkpoint called the interoperable device, and both the tunnel group and interoperable device are known as configuring the peer side. So company B, Cisco ASA's peer side, is company A and the checkpoint firewall. So let's create a tunnel group for Ipsec VPN. We're going to give it the name company A because we're configuring it for the other side. And we're going to give it a type of Ipsec layer 2. Within that, that's just a warning. You can ignore it for now. It's not important to what we're doing. So within that, we're going to create, we're going to give it the Ipsec attributes. Okay. You're going to go within that, and you're going to set up your symmetric key, your pre-shared secret. That long random symmetric key that we created on the checkpoint, we're now going to enter on this side. Because remember what a symmetric key is. It's the same key on both sides that we're going to use to encrypt and decrypt. And here it is. See, it's even called a pre-shared key. So we're going to grab our password from the checkpoint side, which is this. We're going to copy it. And we're simply going to paste that on there. Okay. We're going to press enter. We're going to write this to memory. So there we have it, guys. I hope you learned more about symmetric encryption keys. What we did here was create our own random symmetric encryption key. Symmetric just means using the same key. So we input this into the checkpoint firewall, and we put the same key into Cisco ASA. Using this key and multiple other parameters like encryption and hashing and Diffie-Hellman groups, these two firewalls create a VPN tunnel, a private virtual network, which allowed host A to communicate with host B. And this is done every day and is the foundation of cryptography and secrecy on the internet.
Okay, welcome back. So what I want to show you just now is one of the application that symmetric cryptography used in. Okay, so now let's go and get knowledge about some of the terms that use in the cryptography itself. So the first term, we call it the plain text. The plain text actually is the original message or the real data that we want to encrypt. Second one is the ciphertext, which is the message or the coded message or the encrypted message. The message that after we have encrypted, we call it the ciphertext. The cipher is the algorithm itself for transferring the plain text to the ciphertext. The key, as I said, is the key. Is the items that use in the cipher algorithms, and it only should be known by the sender or by the receiver. In cipher, which is converting the plain text to the ciphertext, while the decipher is the opposite way, to recover the ciphertext from the plain text. Cryptography is the study of the encryption principle method algorithms that hide the information. Okay, when it's come to the crypto analysis, or we call it into another name, code breaking, which is the study of the principle of the method deciphering or ciphering without knowing the key. Cryptology is the field or the measure of the cryptography and also the crypto analysis. This is, as you can see here, the module itself for the symmetric cipher. As I said, this is the message, or this is the plain text or the original message. If we want to encrypt it, we have to have, where is it? This one. Okay, we have to have algorithms. We call it encryption algorithms. And also, as we are using the symmetric cryptography, we're supposed to have key. So after we are going to encrypt the data itself, we are going to send it. So in order for us to get back the plain text, we have to decrypt the message. In order for us to decrypt the message, we have to have algorithm and also the same key. So this is all about the cryptography or the module of the symmetric ciphers. So now, as I said, this type of cryptography, it's required two things, which is the first one, very strong encryption algorithms, and also one key only known by the sender and by the receiver. So the first cipher that we are going to take for today is, we call it Caesar cipher. The principle of Caesar cipher actually is depend on the English alphabet. Okay, this is the the principle of the Caesar cipher. This is the English alphabet, start from A to Z. So the principle or the mechanism of this cipher, if you want to encrypt any letter, you have to shift it 3 letters to the right. If you want to decrypt any letter, you have to shift it 3 letters to the left. So remember this, when it's come to the Caesar cipher, if you want to encrypt any letter, you have to move it 3 times to the right. Let's say that if I want to encrypt A, A should be 1, 2, 3. A should be encrypted to D. If I want to, let's say that if I want to encrypt M, so based on the Caesar cipher, we have to move each letter 3 times to the right. 1, 2, 3. So M should be decrypted to P. Into another way, if we want to decrypt the message itself, so we have to shift it to the left 3 side. For example, when it is come to the when it's come to the V, if I want to decrypt V, supposed to be shifted 3 to the left. So the V is supposed to be S. Now let's take this example. Meet me. This is the example itself. To go to the party, I want to encrypt M. So based on the principle of the Caesar cipher, we have to move every letter 3 to the right side. We go back to the English alphabet. So what is the letter itself just now? M. So where is M? You go to here, M. Move 3 letters to the right. 1, 2, 3. So M supposed to be P. M supposed to be P. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear
Yes,
for
sir.
you?
Yep.
Okay. So right now, Fikri, can you hear me? Fikri. Fikri is not here. Christian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Christian, I want you to encrypt the letter K.
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 K, then the encryption of K is N.
M or N?
N.
Why?
Because the third letter after K is N.
We supposed to what we call it to move 3 letters to the right. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yep.
I want you to decrypt. No, let me choose another one. Who to choose? Kajab. Muhammad Ari.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I want you to decrypt W.
W.
Uh-uh.
W would be Z.
W?
Would be Z.
Okay.
Z.
W supposed to be Z.
Yes.
Sure. To understand the question is to get half of the answer. I said to you to decrypt, not encrypt. Right?
W would be V.
Will be?
Violet. V. A W. W, right? Oh, would be T.
Yeah. If I
Tango.
say encrypt, you move forward. If I say decrypt, you move backward. Okay? Remember this. To the right side is encryption. To the left side is
Decryption.
decryption. Okay, now, is it clear when it is come to the Caesar cipher?
Yep, it's clear, sir.
Do you have any question?
Nope.
Not yet.
Okay, shall we move?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go to another type of cipher. Okay, in this type of cipher, we call it the monoalphabetic cipher. Okay, just now, when it is come to the Caesar cipher, we shift the letters, right?
Yes.
So this type of cipher, we call it the monoalphabetic cipher. It is more advanced than the Caesar cipher. Instead of shift, we jumble the letters. So it will be more, what we call it, strong than the Caesar cipher. Okay, remember my word. When it is come to the monoalphabetic cipher, we encrypt, we decrypt based on map. What is the map? That's the question, right? Okay, I am going to show you what is the map. Let me draw this one here. I think you can you see the triangle
Yes.
that I, or the rectangle? Ah, okay, this one in the red color. Okay, this is the map itself. This map supposed to be known only by the sender and by the receiver. One of the students will ask me, is it this, what we call it, map, can be changed or not? The answer will be yes, it can be changed. You can create your own map, but you and what we call it, the receiver, should only be know about that. No one else. So you encrypt, you decrypt the message based on this map. So once again, when you hear about monoalphabetic cipher, what you remember? The map word. So when it's come to map, means monoalphabetic cipher. Okay, now, I think I have problem with this when I use the... Okay. So this is the map itself. So what does it mean, the map? Every A to be decrypted to
D.
D, and every B to be decrypted to K. And this is the map. For example, if I said to you, okay, this is the plain text. What I said, what does it mean, the plain text?
The code before encrypted.
Is the message, is the real message, or the original message before I encrypted. So if I want to encrypt, okay, this plain text or this message using the monoalphabetic cipher, this is the plain text, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will go to the plan itself. This is the map. So I should be encrypted to what? I go and I find I. Where is I? This is I. Every I to be converted to
W.
W. So I put W. Okay, now F. Where is the F? I will, if the plain text, I will go to the plain text. I will not go to the cipher text. Take note on this, because most of the students will make a mistake when it's come to this thing. Okay, when it's come to F, I will go to here, F, encrypted to
I.
So right now, what I want from you, if I want to encrypt T, T should be
U.
U. If I want to decrypt T, T should be
E.
P.
No. Check back.
P.
If I want to decrypt
U.
T, T should be converted to
P.
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 A.
B or P.
A.
Sorry. No. P, G.
Okay. For example, if I said to you, this is the cipher text, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if I want to decipher this, or if I want to get back the plain text, for example, W, I will refer to the map. W, I go to the plain text or I go to the cipher?
Cipher one.
I go to the cipher. I will not find the W here. No, I will find it here because this is cipher. You get it?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
So W, I will see here W. So W is supposed to be decrypted to
I.
I. Okay. Right now, what I want from you. Hello?
Yep.
Okay. Let me choose. Fikri, are you here? Fikri. Fikri not here. Okay, let me find. You put your phone number. I cannot know what is the name.
This is the student number, Dr.
Oh,
Hazim.
yeah. Saiful. Saiful, are you here?
Saiful. Who's Saiful?
Okay lah, I go to my favorite student lah, Mohammed Dari. My favorite
Yes.
student.
Dari.
Okay, Dari.
Yeah.
Just to what you call it, to recall what I have said. When it is come to the Caesar cipher, what is the principle of encrypting and decrypting the message?
The idea behind decrypting and encrypting behind monolithic key is having a map that is
That one
consists
for the Caesar cipher or for the
of
monoalphabetic cipher?
mono. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
Okay. What is the principle of encrypting and decrypting the message using the Caesar cipher?
By using this as a cipher, we shift the alphabet by the given number or by the key. If the key is
correct.
3, we move 3 letters.
Okay,
to the right.
correct. Thank you. Christian.
Yes, sir.
What is the principle of encrypting and decrypting the message using the monoalphabetic cipher?
If we want to encrypting or decrypting using the monoalphabetic cipher, we should have a maps. So we can use the maps to encrypt or decrypt the code.
Okay, correct. Can we change the map?
Yes, we can, sir.
Who's supposed to know about the monoalphabetic cipher map?
The sender and the receiver of the message.
Only.
Yet only.
Okay, correct. Let's move on. Is it clear with you, this one? These two cipher?
Yes, very clear.
Yes,
sir.
it's clear.
Okay. Now, let's go to the third cipher in today's session. We call it the Playfair Cipher. Okay, when it's come to the Playfair Cipher, we encrypt and we decrypt the message based on pairs of letters instead of one. When it is come to the Playfair Cipher, you remember, first thing, we supposed to have matrix. First thing, we supposed to have
Matrix.
matrix. That matrix should be consist of 5 times 5, 5 row and 5 columns. Okay?
Okay.
That is all about Playfair Cipher. I know you don't understand. That's why I giving you example. Now, when it is come to the Playfair Cipher, what is the first thing that we supposed to have?
Matrix.
Matrix. That matrix supposed to be contains of
5 columns and 5
columns and
rows.
5 rows.
5 columns and 5 row, like this one. Now, this is the message. I think the internet is quite not okay here. Let me on. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, sir.
Okay. Right now, this is the message itself. Okay. Hide the gold in the tree. So the first thing we're supposed to do is to split the letters into pairs.
Okay.
Means that each 2 letter we put it in one place to be encrypted. So hide the gold in the tree. So hide H and I, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we continue until the end of the message. We put the letter into pairs. Is it clear until here?
Yes, sir.
Now,
But Dr. Hazim, you put the wrong pair, I think.
where is it?
TREX. There is no X.
Correct. I'm coming to you. Okay. So first we supposed to divide what we call it. Divide the message into pairs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first thing. Remember, we have condition when it is come to the Playfair Cipher. We cannot put 2 letters in one pair. Take note on that. We cannot put 2 letters in one pair. If we manage to see that, what should we do? We put X. We put X because when we want to split these 2 into pairs, EE, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Playfair Cipher condition, we cannot put 2 EE in one pair. So how to solve this problem? We put X and we continue.
Okay.
Miss Army, do I answer your question?
Yes, sir. But if we have one character, what should we do?
Okay, Bagus, good question. Now, let's say that the principle of the Playfair Cipher is divided the plain text into pairs. Good question by Miss Army. She said, how about if we divided all the letters into pairs, but at the end we only found P. P is not pairs, it's only one letter, single letter, right?
Yeah.
So what is the solution? Ada solution, tada masalah. We put X.
Okay.
Why we put X? Because we want to make it pair.
Okay.
Okay.
But sir, if we found X2 twice,
No, it will not happen.
Oh, okay.
Because when it's come to the matrix supposed not to have X. So let me repeat again. First thing, we supposed to divide the plain text into pairs. If we manage to see 2 same letter in one pair, what should we do?
Put X on it.
We put X. If we manage to find the last letter only one without pairs, what should we do?
Put X on it too.
We put X. Now, until here, is it clear?
It's clear, sir.
Okay, clear.
Okay. Now, until now, we didn't do any encryption yet.
Okay.
Let me tell you these 3 conditions. Remember it. If both of the letters in the same column, we move each letter one down. If both of the letter in the same column, we move each letter one down. Second one, if both of the letter in the same row, we move each letter once to the right.
Same row.
Third, if both of the letters are not in the same row or in the same column, what should we do? Is it okay we can? No. Is it possible to draw a rectangle or not? If yes, I will show you what to do. Okay, let's go one by one. H and I. This is the first pairs, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the matrix. This is the matrix. What is the first letter? H.
H.
And the second one is?
I.
I. First one is the, kejap, let me draw this one using the, okay. Can you see the red box or not?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the letter again?
H and I.
H and I.
H and I. Are they in the same column?
No.
No.
No. Are they in the same row?
No.
No.
Can you draw rectangle or not?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So if that's the case, every letter to be changed with the last letter in the rectangle. So the I to be changed with
M.
M and the H to be changed with
B.
Is it clear this one or you want me to repeat it?
It's clear, but I think you should repeat it with another case, maybe, sir.
Okay, let me giving you another case. No problem. Okay, now. No, before I withdraw. P and M. P and M.
Okay.
Are they in the same column?
No.
Are they in the same row?
No.
No.
No. Can you draw rectangle?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah, yes. Okay, I know.
Can.
Yep.
Now,
Okay.
the P supposed to be changed to what?
The F.
F. M supposed to be changed to what?
I.
I.
Is it clear
okay.
Yep.
Yes,
It's clear, sir.
yes.
Okay, now this is the first case where we can draw the rectangle. Now, I want you, just now the letter was H and I, right?
Yep.
So let's see
yes.
what H and I, what we call it, converted to. H and I, H become B, right?
Yes.
And I become
M.
Y, H become go back again. H, the H become
B.
B, and the I become
M.
M. Okay, clear this one? Let's take the second letter. D and
E.
D and E. D and
E. Okay.
Okay, is it in the same row?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Why yes?
It's on the same
It's,
column.
it's a column.
Same column.
Row is this, column is up. Okay. Okay, so is it are both of the letter in the same row?
No.
The same, no.
No. Okay, good.
They are
Are both of the letter in the same column?
Yes.
So we move every letter once down. So E to B, D,
D.
and D to B, N.
N.
Oh, okay.
E and D to B,
N.
N. Let me giving you another example of the column. I want to check the letter A and N. A and
A
N.
and N. Okay.
So, A, are they in the same row?
No.
No.
Are they in the same column?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, A to B,
E.
D.
E, and N to B,
V.
V. Let's say that I asking you A and V.
A and. Okay.
Okay.
A and V.
Okay.
A and V are both of the letter in the same column?
Yes, they are.
Yes. So A to B, E. But how about V?
To A.
A.
A. Correct. Loop.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It's looping.
Okay. Just now we take the what we call the letter D and E, right?
Yep.
Good job. So D to be E and E to be
D.
Is it clear? So we take the first option, rectangle, second option, both of them are the same column. Now, let's say that I want you to encrypt this pair using the Playfair Cipher, which contains of two letters, U and W.
U and W.
U
They are in the
and
same row.
W are both of the letters in the same column?
No.
Same row.
Are both of the letter in the same row?
Yes, they are.
Yes. So we want to encrypt, we move every letter once to the right. So U to be
V.
V and W to be
Z.
okay. Now, Christian.
Yes, sir.
Christian, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want you to encrypt the P and F.
P and F, yes. Okay. P encrypted to be L and F to be P.
Wait, you forget to ask yourself these three questions. P and F.
Okay.
P, Playfair, P.
P. Yeah.
What should you do first?
I should check if they are in the same rows or column, and I see that they are is in the same rows. So the next one.
The same row. So P is supposed to be
L.
And F supposed to be
P because it's loop.
It will be loop. Correct. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yes.
Let me ask. Who to ask? Dafa Halif. Do I call your name, pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. What is the number of the matrix when it's come to the Playfair cipher? How many rows, how many columns?
It's 5 and 5 columns and 5 rows.
Correct. If we have two letters in the same column, how are we going to encrypt it?
If we have two letters in the same column, we have to move down.
Correct. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Let me ask another one. Just to check you are still with me or not. Alif. Shahrul Alif. Are you with me? Shahrul. Let me ask. Helmi?
Yes, sir.
Helmi, if both of the letter in the same row, how are we going to encrypt the message?
If they are in the same row, you should shift its letter to the right. And if
correct.
If it is in the end of the right, you should shift it back to the left. Just like rotating.
Yes, loop. Correct. Okay, so I think okay. So I think it is clear when it's come to the Playfair Cipher. So do you want us to take more cipher?
Sir, I would like to ask you a question, sir.
Okay.
For the Playfair Key Matrix, the matrix should be like that, or we can change the metric like a variative matrix maybe?
Okay. When it is come to the Playfair matrix, let me show you here. We suppose what we call it actually to follow the keyword, the given keyword in the question itself. So the keyword can be changed. Do I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there any more question before we move to another type of cipher?
What if I would like to ask?
Okay. Okay, Muhammad Dari.
What if the pair doesn't exist in the matrix, because the matrix only have 25 elements, but the
And there is
alphabet,
no pairs. There's no,
yeah,
sorry, there's no repeated letter, right?
Yeah.
No need, no problem. Only we put X in case we find two letters at the same pair, or we put X if we find the last letter is only one, not pair. If we didn't find, no issue. You get what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Now, another type of cipher. We call it the Vinegar cipher. The principle of this cipher is also, we call it map, but different map. I will show you this map. This one, can you see this one?
Yes.
Hello. Okay, this is the map when it is come to the Vinegar cipher. Okay, inside it's the encryption. At the top, it is the key. At the left side, it is the plain text. Take note on this. Inside is the encrypt or the cipher. At the top is the key. At the side is the plain text. Now, let's go back again. As I said, when it's come to the Vinegar cipher, first we have to create the key. What we have to do first? We have to create the key. This is the key. How to create the key? Based on the given keyword. This is the keyword that they are going to be given. It's going to be given. Okay, this is the keyword. Can you see the red box?
Yep, we can.
Okay, so this is the keyword that's going to be given. But we want to create the final key. Because if I look into this one, how many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say it's 9. How many plain text do we have? More than 15, 16, right?
Yeah.
So how are we going to create the final key? We are going to repeat the same keyword that's going to be given. as long as this one here, set to, until we complete what we call it the key based on the length of the plain text. How many times you have repeated here?
3 times.
3 times. Based on what? Based on the length of the plain text. So first step, what do we need to do? We have to create the final key. How are we going to create the final key? We have to duplicate or repeat the keyword given based on the number of the letters in the plain text, or into another word, based on the length of the plain text. So right now, is it clear until here?
Yes, that's clear, sir.
Okay, so let's say that we have the key and we have the plain text. These two things has been given. These two things has been given, and they're asking us to find or to cipher the message. So this is the given thing, and this is the cipher text. This is the thing that we wanted. So what should we do if we have these 2 points and we need this one? As I said, when it is come to the vinegar cipher, it depends also on the map. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Kejap. When I use this, what we call it, this tools is really okay. Now it's clear. D and W. So we want to encrypt what we call it, the W itself, right?
Yeah.
So we have D and W. Remember, what do we have? D and W. D is the key, W is the plain text. We go to the matrix. As I said, up is what? Key, right?
Yeah.
So the key is D, right?
D. Yeah.
D. Let me draw this one for you to easy understand. Move this one. Okay, D, right? We have D. This one. Another letter is
W.
W, right?
Yeah.
So this is the D and this is the W. I want to encrypt it, these 2 letters, which is the W. What is the encrypted letter? Should be
Z.
Why? You see?
Yeah.
Because D, key, and W. So what's inside?
Okay.
Z. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay, let's move to another letter. E and E. E and E. E is the key and another E is the plain text. We go E and E, right?
Yeah.
So what is the letter?
I.
It should be I. You see?
Yep.
Okay. Is it clear now?
It's clear for me, sir.
Okay, let me giving you the cipher text. What is the cipher text here? I give you this one. And I give you this one. I want the plain text. I give you the coded message. I want to from you the plain text. I have D and I have Z. right?
Yeah.
So D, I go back again. I go back again to the map. What I have just now?
The key D.
D and Z. D is the up, is the key. And Z. Should I find Z here or should I find Z here?
In the
Inside or outside?
inside,
Inside. Why?
because it's a ciphertext, not a plain
Yes,
text.
correct. So the letter again, D and W. D is the key. W, where is W? Here. D and W. So it's supposed to be, sorry, D and Z.
Yeah.
D and Z. Where is Z? This one, right?
Yeah.
So what is the plain text?
W.
W. Is it correct? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear, sir.
Okay. I think it's clear for most of you here. Let me take another cipher. It's quite same like the vinegar cipher, but when it has come to this type of cipher, we call it the Auto Key Cipher. When it has come to the Auto Key Cipher, it will be used exactly the vinegar cipher way. But when it has come to the key, it is different. What we did when it has come to the vinegar cipher, we duplicate the keyword, right?
Yeah.
But when it has come to the auto key cipher, we combine the key with the plain text to get the final key. They will give us keyword. This is the keyword, but we cannot use it as a key. We have to add it with the, or combine it with the plain text to get the final key. For example, Queen Lee, we put a Queen Lee, then we combine it with the plain text and we use it as a final key. To encrypt and to decrypt exactly like the vinegar cipher. Let's take example. A and Q. A is the plain text, Q is the key, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we go back. A is the plain text, this is A. Q is the
Key.
key, right?
Yeah.
So what is the cipher supposed to be?
Q.
Q. That is the only difference between the auto key cipher and the and the vinegar cipher. Now, the real fin cipher. Okay, when real fin cipher, this cipher, it has another name. Another name, we call it zigzag. You know what does it mean, zigzag?
Yep.
It's a zigzag cipher. And I will tell you why we call it a zigzag cipher after this. But remember, when it is come to the real fin cipher, what we supposed to do? We supposed to create table. Remember this. What we supposed to do? I want to see your face lah. Kejap. Okay. Christian, when it is come to the real fin cipher, we supposed to create table. Right. In order for us to create table, what do we need to know? In order for us to create a table, what do we need to know?
To create the table, what we need.
Okay, now if I asking you to draw table, what you will asking me?
How many table?
How many columns and how many rows should I have?
How many columns?
Exactly. Smart. how many columns and how many row do we have in order for us to create a table. So the first step, when it is come to the real fin cipher, we need to know how many row and how many column. Remember this, the number of the key is equal to the number of the row. Write down this note. The number of the key is equal to the number of the row. So if we have 5 key, how many row do we have?
5.
5.
So this one, take note on it. The number of the row, it's equal to the number of the
Key.
sorry. The number of the row, it's equal to the number of the key. Now, how about column? The number of the column equal to the number of the letters in the plain text or in the ciphertext. The number of the letters
Plain text.
is, again?
Plain text.
Okay. The number of the column is equal to the number of the letters in the plain text or in the ciphertext. Let me show you example for you to understand. Okay. Can you see here?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, we can see, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. This is, let's say that this is the, where is it? Okay. Let's say that this is the message or this is the plain text. How many letters do you have in this plain text? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24,
25.
25. So this, the number of the letters that we have in the plain text and in the ciphertext is equal to
Number of columns.
Number of columns.
Yes. So let me repeat this one before I'm going to show you one video. Right now, the number of the row is equal to the number of
The key.
key. The number of the column is equal to the number of
The letter in the
Letters
cipher or the
in plain
plain
text.
text.
Yes, correct. So once you know these two things, it is easy. Right now, you listen to this video carefully and for sure you will 100% understand what I am talking about. Are you ready?
Yes, we are, sir.
Ready, sir.
Okay. In 3, 2, kejap. Where is the video?
Ciphers, and we said that this is a very general way of arranging the letters. Basically, what we're going to do is arrange the letters or rearrange the letters in the plain text to produce a ciphertext. Now, we need a systematic way to do that, and a systematic way, basically, what it is something that we can actually do very easily without having to actually go into the much details of what a permutation is, mathematically speaking. Now, the real fence cipher or the zigzag cipher is one particular case of a permutation cipher that is going to allow us to do the encryption in a kind of an easy way. But this real fence cipher is just one particular case of a permutation cipher that is going to allow us to rearrange the letters. There are some others here, of course. There are also permutation ciphers that are going to use another method to rearrange the letters. But for now, let's just look at this one, the real fence cipher. So the situation is exactly the same. And this is picture I have. I have Alice and Bob that want to communicate, and Eve, of course, is always listening in here. But before every communication starts, they have to agree on a key. So they have to share a key. They have to agree on something. So the key here is the important part here for the real fence cipher. And in this case, for the real fence cipher, the key will be a natural number. And remember what a natural number is just an infinite collection of natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So the key will be one of these numbers here. Now, one important part that is here in the real fence cipher is when you choose your key, you have to make sure that the key, whatever the number is strictly less than the number of characters in the plain text. So that's very important. And the reason for that is going to come later. If you actually have the key bigger than the number of characters in the plain text, the real fence cipher is not really good. It's not really a cipher at all, actually. You always want to have your key strictly less than the number of characters that you have in the plain text. So in that case, if you want to send messages, then it's better to use a short key. So if you want to send messages, you won't want your key to be, for example, 8,000, because it's not going to make it very secure at all. So you want to choose your key to be small. In particular, it should be small than the number of characters in the plain text. So that's what we're going to do. Now, how this real fence cipher works. Now, the name real fence is zigzag. You will see why it's called like that in a second. So once you decide, Alice and Bob decide on the key, assuming of course that the key is strictly less than the number of characters in the plain text, what we're going to do is we're going to construct a table. Now, the table is going to be made out of rows and columns. The number of rows that you're going to put in that table is exactly equal to the key that you chose, so it's exactly equal to the number you chose in here. So for example, if you chose the number 4 for your key, then the number of rows would be 4, so you have 4 rows. And the number of columns that you're going to have in your table is going to be exactly the same as the number of characters that you have in the plain text. So it's equal, in this case, it would be equal to the number of characters in the plain text. So you're going to make a table. And once you make that table, what you do is you're going to place the plain text in that table in a zigzag manner. And I will explain that in detail with the example. It's better to look at the example to make this very clear. So let's look at the example now. So this is the example. The example is encrypt the message, meet me at the park, using, of course, the real fence cipher or the zigzag cipher. And we're going to assume that we are going to agree on a key of 3. So the key is actually small. You see 3 here is smaller than the number of characters that I have here in my plain text. And remember, that key should not be bigger than the number of characters there. For example, if somebody is going to do this and say that my key is, for example, 30, that's not going to work. Okay, and I'll explain that later. But so for now, let's just think about this. The key here has to be less than the number of characters. So the number of characters in my plain text, so if I have to compute it, so you just go ahead and here and count how many letters you have. We're going to ignore the blank spaces that we have between the words, and we're just going to count the letters. So in this case, if you go ahead and count all these letters here in this plain text, then you're going to find that is 15. So I have 15 letters here. And of course, because my key is 3, according to the method for the zigzag cipher, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a table. That has 3 rows, because that's the key is 3, and it has 15 columns. 15 is because that's the number of characters that I have here in my plain text. So I already made the table here. So this is the table. So in this table, I have 3 rows. So this is row 1, row 2, row 3. I have 3 rows. And I have 15 columns that correspond to the number of letters in my plain text. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, I'm not going to count them all, but you can go ahead and double check if you want. You can pause the video here and actually count that what I have there is 15 columns. Okay, so all the way from 1 through 15 columns. So once you have the table set up, so this table here, we're going to put the plain text in that table in a zigzag manner. So what do I mean by that? So what I mean by that is this. I'm going to start, of course, with the first letter of my plain text, the letter M. And I'm gonna place it in this top corner here. So you always do that. You always start with the most left top corner in your table. So you're gonna start here, and I'm gonna place the letter M over there. So if I place the letter M there, place the letter M, and I'm gonna go diagonally. Diagonally means I'm gonna go in this direction like this diagonal. The next letter, of course, is E, so I'm gonna place it diagonally in there. So it's gonna be E. The next letter is again an E, so I'm gonna place it there like that. And I keep doing this diagonally. So if this is this diagonal, then I go up in the other diagonal like this diagonal. So this diagonal first, this is the zigzag. You see why now this is called a zigzag cipher. So mid, so the next will be T, so I'm gonna place it over here in this place. I'm gonna ignore all the blank spaces, so for this case we're not gonna count those things. So the next letter will be M. So the next letter will be M. Okay, and again zigzag. So once I reach this one at the top, I'm gonna go down here in the other diagonal. So I'm up to here, I'm up to M, and then I had to write down E and A in the diagonal way. So it's gonna be E. Remember, this is all zigzag manner. So I'm up to here at this point at A. So the next letters will be T, T. And I'm gonna place them in that diagonal that you're gonna write down here. This is T, T. So I'm up to here point, as at this point, at this T. The next two letters will be H and E, and that will be in this diagonal. Remember, this is all the zigzag. So it'll be H and E. So the next letter will be H and E. Now, let me finish this down. So now we have, the next letter will be P, A, and then it's gonna be, of course, in this diagonal, coming up, so P and A. And I'm almost done here. So the last two letters that I have to put on my table would be the R and the K. So that it's gonna be placed in this diagonal here. So it's gonna be the R and the K. Right. So I placed the letters there in the plain text. I placed them in a zigzag way, zigzag through this table. Now, how I'm gonna take the ciphertext from there? So the ciphertext, let me write it down over here. Ciphertext. The way you get the ciphertext from here is you're gonna read from the table from row 1 through the last row, from left to right, the same way you read in English. So from left to right. So I'm gonna start with the first row here. Is M, M, T, A. And you're just gonna write down all that in that order. So it's gonna be M, M, T, A. Some people put blank spaces when you end a row. So the next one would be a space here. It's better not to do it because it's gonna make Cyph a little bit more secure. And so the next thing I'm gonna write down is the letters that are in the second row. So the letters will be E. So as you can see here, the E, T, E, T, H, P, R. So it'll be E, T, E, T, H, P, R. So I just put that row over there, this row. And of course, finally, the last row will be this one. So I have to write down E, A, E, K. So if I do that, it will be E, A, E, K. And so finally, what we have is, this is gonna be my ciphertext. Now, we didn't change the letters at all. That's the point. The point.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello, have you understand?
Yes, I understand, sir.
And have you, what we call it, you get the reason why we call it as a zigzag cipher? Because we arrange what we call it, the word or the letter itself in a way that in a zigzag manner. Okay, Is it clear, this type of cipher?
Yes, it is clear, sir.
Sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Shall we move?
Okay.
Okay, let's go and take the last cipher for today's session. Okay, we call it row transposition cipher. From the name, row transposition cipher. If you look here, it has key, it has plain text. So if we want to encrypt this plain text, we supposed to have the key, right?
Key, yeah.
Okay, remember, when it is come to the row transposition cipher, remember this statement. We follow the sequence of the key. What is the statement is? We follow the sequence of the key when we want to encrypt. What I mean by the sequence of the key, I will show it to you in the box shortly. This is the key, right?
Yes.
Okay, it has sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if we want to encrypt the plain text, we use APTM, APTM, then follow. Number 2, TTNA, TTNA. Number 3, AODW, ODWT. So after that, TSUO, TSUO, until the end. That's all about the transposition cipher. I think it is the easy, what we call a cipher to understand. Do you have any question when it is come to the row transposition cipher? Now, I want to tell me, I will ask a question, then I want you to give me answer. I still not finished. This is only the cryptography. Okay. How many type of cipher do we take today? And name it. 1.
Caesar Cipher.
Caesar Cipher.
Yep.
Caesar Cipher. Second.
Monoalphabetic
Cipher.
Monoalphabetic Cipher. Third.
Playfair.
Cipher.
Playfair Cipher. Fourth.
Beginner
Cipher.
Beginner Cipher. Fifth.
Auto Key Cipher.
Auto Key.
Auto Key Cipher. Sixth.
Real Cipher.
Zigzag.
Last.
The row transposition.
Row transposition.
Row transposition cipher. Correct. Now, let's go to another type of information hiding. We call it the steganography. Steganography actually is the practice of hiding. It can be file, it can be message, it can be video, it can be image into another video or image or video or message. Okay, the idea of the steganography is to hide the information. Nobody knows this image or this, what we call it, or this video, it has information hidden. Only the sender and the receiver know about this hidden information. So can you see me or not? Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, sir.
Is it clear?
Very clear, sir.
Okay, good. Now, the word steganography, actually, it's come from what we call it Greek stegano, which combine the word stegano and also stegano means cover and the graphics mean writing. So, as I said, the idea of the steganography is to hide something inside another thing. It can be hide, what we call it, a file into a file, or a message into a message, or a video into a video. So this is what we call it. The steganography is very important nowadays as well. Give me satu minute. Okay, come. Thank you. Okay, so this is when it's come to the steganography. How many types of steganography do we have? We have 4 types of steganography. As I said just now, we can hide what we call it, the information or the text inside text or document, file. It can also hide the information inside image. It's also inside audio, video. And the last one, it can be also inside the TCP, which is the Transmission Control Protocol, and also inside the IP packet, which is the Internet Protocol. So this is simply briefing about the steganography itself. And the last type of the information hiding, we call it watermarking. What is watermarking actually? Watermarking is a form that you are going, what we call it, to impress or to embed image inside another image. Or it can be even text, it can be even video. As you can see here, can you see the visible watermarking, which is the currency? Okay, let me highlight it with the red box. Okay, can you see this one?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, if you can see, let me take the pointer. If you can see this one, the pointer is not working. Ah, okay. If you can see, clear, then delete. Okay. If you can see this one, actually this is the currency itself. And this part is the watermark. They put the watermark inside what we call it the currency because they want to secure or they want to make sure that currency will not be forged. So this is one type of the watermark. Another type, we call it invisible watermark. Actually, we have 3 types of the watermark: invisible, visible, and also dual watermark, which is used the combination between the visible and also the invisible. So when it's come to the visible watermark, it can be seen by the eyes. When it is come to the invisible watermark, it cannot be seen by eyes. We should have system to detect. And normally the main reason of the watermark is to make sure the copyright of the image or of the document or of the video itself. So this is when it is come to the watermark. Digital watermark, it's actually the extension of the word of the watermark, but in a digital world. So this is the most important thing when it's come to the digital watermarking. We can secure the copyright of the image if we are going to use the digital watermarking. Now, as I said just now, when it is come to the watermarking classification, actually we have 3 types of watermarking when it is come to the human perspection. When it's come to the human perspection, we have 3 types of watermark: visible watermark, invisible watermark, dual watermark. Let's say, what is visible watermark? Visible watermark actually is like a transparent layer. If you can see here, this is the original image of this girl. And if you see the watermark image, this is the watermark itself. It can be seen by the eyes. Okay, and as I said, the main important reason behind of the watermark is to make sure the copyright of the document or of the image itself. So this is when it is come to the visible watermark. When it is come to the invisible watermark, you cannot see. You cannot see because this one, it's been made to be hidden inside the image. Using the invisible watermark, we can secure what we call it the copyright of the image itself. Because the main idea of the invisible watermark is to detect the tempered image. Tempered image means the image that has been modified. So this is when it is come to the invisible watermarking. When it's come to the last, what we call it, type of the watermark, when it's come to the human perspection, which is the dual watermarking, this type of watermarking, they use both invisible and also they use visible. Visible, they want to, what we call it, to make sure this image will not be tampered. So this is when it is come to the dual watermarking. Now, we have explained about steganography, cryptography, watermarking. What is the difference among these three types? It is very simple difference actually. When it has come to the steganography, it's what we call it, hide a message in audio, in video, it can be in data, it can be in any platform, but in a way that the listener cannot detect there is a message that's been hidden there. So that's when it is come to the steganography. We do not want the listener to know that we hide the message. When it is come to the watermark, it's also to hide the message in audio or in video or in any platform, but in a way that, this is the difference, it cannot be removed or replaced. So when it's come to the steganography, yes, it is hidden, but when it is come to the watermarking, it also can be hidden and it can be not hidden when it's come to the invisible. But the listener cannot remove or replace the watermark from the image itself or from the audio. This is the difference between the steganography and also between the watermark. Now, what is the difference between the cryptography and also the watermark? Cryptography, yes, it is a very good method which is used to protect the data, the content, the information, but they protected by encrypted. If the message is decrypted, it is not secure. This is the difference. While the digital watermarking can protect the data, even the data is decrypted, because the, what we call it, the image anyone can see, but not all the people can change the watermark in the image. So that's all when it's come to today sharing session. Hello.
Yes, sir.
You already
Thank you very
sleeping
much.
or you still awake?
You're still awake.
Still awake, sir.
Oh ya ga?
Still
Okay
awake,
lah.
sir.
Sound very energetic lah. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, let me know.
Okay, thank you very much for Associate Professor Dr. Hazim Alkawaz for the great, very great present to give us many knowledge, more knowledge for us. Thank you very much, sir. For all the participants, maybe if there is any of you that would like to ask some question, please do fill your question in the message chat of the Zoom meeting. Or you can use your raise hand feature, or you can just on your mic and tell what your question is. Is there any question from you all?
If you are shy to ask a question, no need to be shy. If you want to ask me a question later on also, no problem. I have shown my email and my WhatsApp contact at the first slide. So if you have any question, if you need anything to get more information, don't be shy. As long as we are in this field, we are learning. So in order for you to know, you have to ask.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Can you on the camera? I want to see your face.
Assalamualaikum.
Allah, or tada internet connection. Maybe I will, what do you call it? I will ask your lecture and Dr. Ramli and also Puan Army if you need any more specific topic for me to explain to you or to give you sharing session. So I am okay lah, no problem, because last Tuesday for the first session, I have spoken to some of you, and some of you said that you are doing your final year project, right?
Okay.
So if you need also help when it comes to your final year project, let me know. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hazim.
Okay, you are welcome.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hazim, and for the student, this is the end of our class. Thank you for Dr. Hazim for giving us interesting and stimulating lectures on your busy schedules. Where is Dr. Hazim? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes, man.
Thank you. I'm interested in cryptography.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
From now we can implement the cryptography to send secret message to our girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
I techniques, but there is not enough time. And sometimes when I want to explain about the mathematical things, I need to use the whiteboard. So that's the reason.
Yeah. Okay,
I
because
hope you can get some knowledge from the thing that I have shared with all of you today.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Hazim. I hope we can meet again soon, both in online class or
no problem.
Okay, face to face. Okay, and I will give the microphone to the MC. Please, Christian.
Okay. We will have picture.
Yeah, we will. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you once more for Mr. Hazim for the knowledge, for the great presenting. Thank you very much, Dr. Hazim. And also, I would like to thank you to Miss Army Jusisia as our moderator for today. Thank you very much, Miss Army. And now we are reached in the end of this class. But before we really end this class, let's have a photo shoot first, so we can have some documentation.
Yeah,
please do.
No problem.
Please do open your cam. Yeah, please do open your cam so we can have a photo shoot together.
Okay.
Okay, so which the committee will take the photo shoot?
Okay.
Okay.
I will screenshot first slide. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Second slide. 1. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Wait. Third slide. 1, 2, 3. Hey. Fourth slide. 1, 2, 3. Last slide. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Helmi, for taking the photo shoot of us. Okay, because we start this class with a pray, so let's end this class with a pray to the God. Start. Okay, pray finish. Thank you very much for all the participants. Thank you, Dr. Hazim. Thank you, Miss Army. And please, the committee, please send the feedback and present form in the chat column. Okay, for all the participants, do not forget to fill the present and feedback form so you can get the e-certificate for this DECOTA 2020. Okay, thank you for all the participants in this class. Thank you for joining the DECOTA 2020. This is special thank you once more for our speaker, Mr. Dr. Hazim, and thank you for our moderator, Ms. Army, for the lesson that have given to this class today.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you
Thank you
from
very
Thank
much,
you,
Mr.
Dr. Hazim. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Doctor.
And
Thank you
thank
very
you,
much.
Mr. MC.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hazim.
Okay,
Thank you.
assalamualaikum. Juni.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam.
warahmatullahi
Okay, please do fill the form for all participants. Thank you very much.
All right.